Everybody wanted to meet Michael or be with Michael.
A new documentary is forcing the re-examination of Michael Jackson and his legacy.
He told me if they ever found out what we were doing, he and I would go to jail for the rest of our lives.
Part 1 of HBO's Leaving Neverland debuted last night. Part 2 airs tonight. It's a haunting tale of two boys who claim their lives were irreparably damaged by a man many still love. Buzz around the film has been building since it premiered at the Sundance Film Festival at the end of January. But now that it's being seen by a wider audience, the response has been explosive, with reactions ranging from disgust to disbelief, and leaving many with the question of how to feel about Jackson and the music he left behind. The documentary tells the stories of Wade Robson and James Safechuck, who knew Jackson from a young age. Both men now claim the singer sexually molested them at separate times when they were children.
Hello, Wade. Today is your birthday, so congratulations. I love you.
You know, just too many people are making these claims, and I think on some level, there has to be some validity to it at some point.
Actor Billy Baldwin was on breakfast television this morning when the subject of the documentary came up. He shared a personal connection to the story.
My wife, the singer China Phillips from the band Wilson Phillips, when she was a child, her parents were the founders of the Mamas and the Papas, and Michael used to take my wife when she was a young girl to the ice capades and to the circus and to the zoo. Not alone. He was 19 or 20 and she was probably, you know, 8 or 9 or 10. It was with his mother and Tito and Jermaine and LaToya and all them, and she would get in the station wagon, and he was kind of obsessed with her. He had a fascination with children from a very, very early age. But I think also when you're that young and you're that famous and you're that powerful and influential and wealthy, I think you enter a stage of like arrested development where it's very difficult for you to, it's very challenging. You see a lot of child stars that don't have these kinds of struggles, but struggles in a lot of different ways, emotionally and psychologically.
Actor Amber Tamblin's reaction echoes Baldwin's thoughts. She tweeted, quote, "As a former child actress, I can't help but watch this documentary and think about how wrong it is for children to be put in the position of performing for the sole purpose of pleasing adults. It's such a slippery, dangerous, often abusive slope." The fallout from Leaving Neverland is reminiscent of another recent documentary, Lifetime's Surviving R. Kelly, which aimed to get fans, law enforcement, and the general public to wake up to what the series says is a pattern of criminal activity. Kelly has since been arrested in Chicago on 10 counts of criminal aggravated sexual abuse. Late last month, Jackson's estate filed a $100 million lawsuit against HBO, claiming the documentary violates a non-disparagement clause in which the network agreed to not speak ill of the singer. The estate also released counter-programming to coincide with the release of Leaving Neverland, a concert film on YouTube the exact length of the first part of the doc. A second concert film will reportedly be released at the same time as the second part of Leaving Neverland airs tonight. For City News, I'm Devo Brown.